Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Mondays with Mindy. Say hi to the people, Christian.
Hi, people. Welcome back.
Today's episode is sponsored by one of our favorite hotels ever. Well, yeah, pretty much top five, I'm going to say, in the world would be the
Yeah.
Woodstock Way Hotel in Woodstock, New York. Shout out. Anyway, today's episode features a conversation with actor and writer and someone I'm a huge fan of, by the way, PJ Byrne. Born and raised in New Jersey and a graduate of Boston College with a double major in finance and theater and an MFA from the theater school at DePaul University.
Wow.
Well-educated bloke.
Yeah.
PJ gratefully followed his passion for acting instead of finance, although he probably, with how well he's doing, finance is coming in handy.
Yeah.
PJ is one of those rare actors, character actors that may not be a household name, but has a face that you don't forget and creates characters that are just as unforgettable. He started his career in small roles in such films as little films like Bruce Almighty, Fun with Dick and Jane, and Bewitched, and on television series such as ER and The West Wing, Reno 911, before getting a reoccurring role on The Game. In the last few years, PJ has gone on to more prominent roles in such films as Dinner with Schmucks, Extraordinary Measures, an unforgettable role in Horrible Bosses, and the fifth installment of the phenomenally successful Final Destination franchise. In addition to his on-screen roles, PJ also provides the voice of Bolin, one of the lead roles in The Legend of Korra on Nickelodeon. He appeared in Martin Scorsese's The Wolf of Wall Street, joined Dwayne Johnson in the 2008 action film Rampage, and most recently co-starred, I shouldn't say starred, the girls would be upset about that, but co-starred in HBO's Big Little Lies, Showtime's I'm Dying Up Here, and Amazon's The Boys. The man does not stop working.
He's been working a little.
I mean, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
PJ is also adding writer to his resume, having recently sold Brothers of the Bride to New Line, a feature he will also star in that will be produced by Ben Stiller's company, Red Hour Productions. Bravo. I really can't wait to talk to him about this.
Nice.
PJ lives in Los Angeles with his wife, Jamie, and their 3 children. Let's give it a whirl, shall we?
You ready? I say let's bring him in. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for PJ Byrne.
Guys, I made it. The world is going to be okay now. We're all together. We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine.
For the first time in months, I'm relieved. I can't even tell you. Yeah.
No, screw the vaccine. The fact that the 3 of us are together, that is just saying a lot to the world. We're going to be okay.
Yeah, this is the superpower.
More than one. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we're going to jump right in. I always start each
Mindy,
episode.
jump in. Oh, what do you start it with? I'm excited.
We kind of came up with some questions. Exactly. Just a way to just start gabbing. Not that you and I need help with that usually.
No, I love veal piccata. It's a baby calf. It's very weird and awkward right now, but being Sicilian, I do like veal piccata. Go.
Thank you. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
PJ, who's your favorite relative and why?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Why are you putting that on me?
Oh, yeah, deep dive.
I'm Italian. That's like, I'm literally, the person I pick will be happy and elated. The
Everyone
other ones
else,
are getting the Italian.
You will owe them. Yes.
Who do I love?
You have a lot to choose from.
Yeah. I have a faux cousin who was my best man, Frankie DePaola. He's the dentist of Hoboken, New Jersey. He's an incredible dentist. And the Italians had a lot of fake cousins, and he lived across the street from me growing up, and their family became very, very close. And the DePaola family, actually, the name of my child is because of his father, Uncle Frank. I had just had a newborn baby. His name is Bear Byrne. Bear Byrne.
Very excited.
And the reason we named him Bear is because we used to go on trips with the DePaolas, like our whole lives. They're really like my brother and sisters, essentially. And back in the day, though, we used to drive to like Hilton Head from New Jersey.
Right.
And there was no cell phone, so everyone had CB radios. And you had to have a handle, right? To so the truckers wouldn't get pissed at you.
Right.
And so my Uncle Frank, who was also a dentist, he was this hysterical bald dentist. And I swear to God, the reason I think I have any element of being funny in my bones is because of him. So he was bald eagle, right?
Oh God.
Bald funny dentist.
So good.
And my dad who is 6'4", 222. I missed a gene. I'm very pissed. Should have played basketball a lot longer.
Similar.
He was Big Bear. So we named, my new son in honor of my dad, Bear Byrne. And my dad is Paul Ignatius Byrne, very Catholic. So my son
Oh my
is
God,
Bear
I love it.
Paul Byrne. Ignatius was in the running.
Wow.
It was in
I
the
love
running.
it.
So was Christian.
Yeah.
So was Christian, actually. Yes. And Mindy was like a close second. Bear,
yeah.
Mindy Byrne.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Take him far. Oh yeah.
There
Really
you go.
scary.
There's an answer, and I think everyone's okay with that answer.
Yeah.
I love that answer. Yeah. Not that I'm
have
judging.
Christmas dinner in 2021 again with the family.
Right. Exactly.
Yes, you'll be accepted.
Exactly. Yeah.
Back into the fold. Speaking of dinner,
Do it, man.
if you could have dinner with any 3 people, who would they be?
I didn't know this was like a question contest. I love this.
Well,
any
I
three
mean-
people?
Yeah, and answering it in the now. Like no one's gonna hold you to it.
Are they alive?
Could be whatever you
It
want.
doesn't matter.
Oh, so there's no wrong answers.
No.
It's just like who's the curious group you would assemble.
All right, this is great. Well, let's get my grandfather back in there, my pop who passed away, because I would just have a nice time having dinner with him again, and then
Yes.
whoever we pick. Holy shit. Now I got to pick relatives I've never even met. Now that I just went down the death nail.
You do?
I never met my grandmother. Never
Oh.
met her. Yes, never met my mother's mother, and I never met my father's father.
Oh.
So now I got to have 4 people at the table. I
Okay.
guess.
There's room for
Let's
Okay.
get all the grandparents back together.
Yeah.
It's like your own Willy Wonka.
Yeah. I mean,
It's like-
we could get like Barack Obama at the table. It'd be great and wonderful. But like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's not going to sit with me as long
No.
as
they
getting my
would.
deceased relatives who I've never met in my life. So there's 4 people coming to dinner. I screwed up the whole question, but you know what?
No,
Screw you, Mindy,
you
for even
didn't.
bringing that up.
Honestly, it
Screw
was
you.
reminiscent of just seeing like Willy Wonka and all the grandparents in the big bed. I like
No,
that.
that's how I grew up. Except I didn't get the golden ticket. Still pissed off.
You're
Look at
getting
the
it
room
now.
I got to sleep in. The whole this is all I got. I got
Okay,
3
no.
kids and a wife. This is all
Oh,
we
please,
have.
please. I'm
Jesus.
so not feeling sorry for you, noting especially the last few years you've had. Jesus
Don't
Christ.
you do that to me? Not today.
Okay, I won't.
Not today.
Who
Wait, by the way, Christian, you're doing great so far.
Thank
you're
you.
doing really good.
I'm doing my best to answer exactly as I should.
Mindy's doing all the work. I have no idea why you're here. What the
Oh,
hell's
oh.
going on? No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God, talk about
Got a
Oz
flop
behind the
house
curtain.
on the other side of the camera.
Mhm.
I
Oz
mean,
behind the
what-
curtain. Let me tell you, that's this man.
Yes. Got the
PJ,
family tree behind
please-
you. Sorry, Min.
Please
Shut,
take that's no,
Yes.
don't
shut up,
stop
PJ.
talking.
Just shut up. Shut up.
Besides me, of course, who's the most
Yes.
fascinating person you've met?
I don't even know if I'm allowed to say what he does for a living. Maybe I can't say that person.
Okay, well, say
Um,
the person. You don't have to say what he does for a living.
I have a buddy who's so brilliant that I grew up with, and I think part of the reason if I have a hint of funny is him. He knew sarcasm at such an early age and like dealt it so decisively. He was just great, and then he went. I won't say the schools, but I'll tell you, he went to the best schools and best graduate schools. And now he does something I kind of don't understand. He's done crazy venture capital. He's
Okay.
an incredible musician, but he also puts, let's just say, the most brilliant doctorates in little pods throughout America. And they trade on the millisecond from London, to America. So those little pennies they keep on the millisecond because their
Yep.
internet is a little faster, and there's PhD doctorates sitting all across. Like
Yes.
that's what he's like. Yeah, I'm just gonna whip that up, and I'm
Oh,
gonna have
my
a house
word.
in Tahoe and a house in da da da. I'm gonna fly private. A lot of cocaine. That's a lie. The last part, but but he'll talk about anything with you. He's so quick witted, and you'll have some of the funnest, most interesting conversations of your life. Go.
Okay, like that.
His name is Jesus Christ. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But baby Jesus.
And you have a very personal relationship with him.
I do.
What's your guilty pleasure?
Veal piccata, dude. Yeah, for sure.
It's the veal
I think I
piccata.
said it early. Veal piccata. I feel terrible about it. But
Circling
when you
back.
go to Sicily and you hang out with your relatives and you say like, chicken parm, they look at you
Yes.
Like,
Like
They
you're
want to
alien.
disown you.
Yeah, they'll kill you.
No,
Yeah.
it's like veal. Like they don't know what the hell a chicken parm is. Like it's like we're gonna go get the baby calf. It's gonna be a terrible moment, and we're gonna eat it. And every time I do it, I think about it. I have a horrible time, And then if an aunt is making it, I'm like, this is the greatest thing I ever ate. That's my guilty pleasure. In Sicily, sitting at the table in Sicily.
Where in Sicily?
I'm from a town called Santa Croce. Actually, we just became dual citizens last summer. So I'm an Italian
Smart.
and an American.
Congratulations,
you,
and
Mindy,
tell Jamie
let's
that's
get
one more
married.
reason. One more reason to be jealous. I'll be the second wife.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I visited and am massively a fan of Messina.
Oh, anywhere you go, it's really heavenly. Like you have a hard time going wrong. We did another part of Italy this time. It's like, when have we had a bad time in Italy? I don't know why we don't live there, and I say that to myself every time I'm there.
Well, now you've got the dual citizenship.
Except when you live there, certain things
I know.
You kind of have to be loosey-goosey and easygoing, which I am not yet. Hopefully by 70 I will be. Yeah.
I understand. I know. Then I want my Thai food in LA. I'm like, give me jitlada and ASAP. Where the fuck? If I have any more carbs, I'm going to explode. Okay, go. No, it's serious. After a while, we lived there for like a month. We're like, this is enough with the carbs. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Another piece of pasta.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lose my
I know. Whatever you craved a salad in your whole life. Yeah. In Italy.
Yeah. That's exactly true. Go.
Yes.
Next question. Sorry. Christian, doing great.
Thank you.
Doing really good, buddy.
Yeah. He's awake. What's the best advice you've been given and who gave it?
Easy. And I still say this all the time. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, DJ. I love him. He's
oh my God. By the way, I'm obsessed with him, and we had a Twitter moment and it changed my life.
You should be. He's the best human. He's so funny. He's just great. And everything he touches turns to gold, and it should, because his heart is so pure. But he says this one line all the time. He goes, "It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice."
Very true.
Honestly, especially coming from just live that. If everyone would just take that.
It's so easy.
Bravo him. And by the way, I do believe he's going to run for president. I'm just putting it out there.
I mean, that would be, I would.
I think that's happening. I think that's happening. I'm not kidding.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah. So, one of the reasons Christian and I started this, I hope our listeners aren't too bored with me keep saying this, but to people who haven't listened in yet, where are you? And you should. The thing that I was missing the most, was connecting to other creatives. I missed in this time of COVID that I thought would be over sooner than later, but it's just keeps giving. No, I don't have it. Just the thought of it. Obviously,
that was a moment I was like, I'm not going to play on that joke right now. Am I going to do the COVID joke? Am I going to do the COVID joke? I didn't do it. I didn't touch it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Let Mindy touch it. Sure. Sorry.
I touch everything.
Yeah. Always did.
I know. It's the rumor. It's true.
I can't see your left hand right now. We just got dirty. There you go. Never mind. Christian,
my parents listen to this. My parents listen to this. Happy hands.
So will mine.
Okay. So we talk. I wanted to connect with other creatives and just talk about that aspect of life. Nothing heavy. Nothing. Unless you want to go there.
No, let's go deep. Let's make it weird. Just make it weird. Okay. Yep. No, let's stay in the surface. Hands up. Go.
We can't help it. Let's get weird. Talk to me about your creative process. Do you have one? Does it change from job to job? Do you, how do you define that? And obviously it's different as an actor. And I know that you're a writer as well. So
I can just tell you very simply before.
Yes.
Do you want to know what I do before every job or audition? Really every job that I get before I show up. I'll tell you exactly what I do. So I went to grad school at the theater school at DePaul University.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I think we should be number one in America. We should be number one. Just pumping the school. So whenever I get a script, right, I just go back to how you're classically trained, the fundamentals, like what's your super objective, what's your operative, what are your verbs, like for each line, literally each line of the whole script. So, I mean, it could take a long time to go through it. And then the next phase is sort of the PJ brain takes over and looks for opportunities to add some humor to the script, if you will, and never be trite. So never say something that someone's heard before. And I for each line, I'll have 10
alternatives.
10 things armed. Like Wolf of Wall Street is a great example. And then I'll meet with friends and discuss it and play around and run jokes by them. And then I have some magical friends who are just so innately funny. Like one of the funniest lines I ever said in a movie, and it doesn't sound nice and classy, and I apologize.
Please.
Came from one of my really good buddies, Terry Scannell. And I was so armed for the scene. The first time we see Margot Robbie's character, right? Where she comes in.
Yes.
So I think they used 2 of my lines and didn't cut to me both times because I said so many good, knock on wood, thank God I said funny stuff. But one of the funniest lines I ever said. So you got to remember, it's, the 80s and 90s where AIDS was happening. This is terrible. And these guys were ruthless. So they can say horrible things. Just put it on them.
Right. The character.
Right. So the first time I see Margot, I say, she's so hot, I'd let her give me AIDS. And that's some of the things you're bringing with you to the set.
I remember
it's a terrible, horrible line, but yes.
No, it isn't. It's so appropriate.
Yeah.
But that's
and by
for
the
those
way,
guys and being
you don't think
terrible.
that was said?
It was said. I know it was said. So anyway, so there's that. So then I have all the lines. And then when I show up on set, so let's say Min and I were doing a scene, I literally forget
From
everything
your lips
I did.
to God's ears.
Don't you? We're going to do it. Now that I know, you're greenlit. I'm in. Let's do it. I'm going to do it. So then we show up and I'm there with you. I forget everything. And I'm just like present with you. And like all the stuff I did, because you're going to bring a whole swath of stuff at me and I want to be there and ready for it. And then when we're doing it, if the director wants to throw stuff, if you're throwing stuff, great. And then if we start improvising, I'm going to wait for you. And then if it gets a little lull, and when the lull is, I'm like, I have all these things that I brought with me to throw in to the mix. Like, let's go. And like, and when that scenario can happen and you have a great director who knows how to foster that properly.
I was just going to ask you, have you ever been shut down or you've just like taken the temperature on the set and went, this is not one of those sets where they want my contributions?
Right. So here's a trick. Because now I've been doing this a long time. Nobody wants you to, especially in TV, like, don't say a fucking word. We have this much time. Like, let's go. And here we go. Right. But I've just been doing this for so long. One, I get a little leeway. But here's a trick. So when you're gonna like try to throw a little boom boom, I've also rehearsed this so much. I've run it by the funniest people. Let's say if it's a bit of a comedy or something.
Right.
The first little improv I'm throwing is my number one joke. And that is like, oh, whoa. It's like an unstoppable force. Yes. So then they're like, well, yeah, you can do a little bit. Okay, just a little if you got anything. And then you're like, then we're off and running. And then that's how you trick it. But there's been times where I've been on set where directors, like some are just, very technically savvy and they don't understand humor and maybe they're on the spectrum. God bless them. But
100%. No, 100%.
And they don't know how to be humans. Right. I mean, in one movie, it was like where an actor put his arm. We're at a funeral. One actor put his arm around his girlfriend. And the director comes running over. He's like, why would you put your arm around? He's like, well, I'm consoling her. It's a funeral. He's like, I would never do that. We're all like, oh,
wow.
This is a fucking alien directing this movie.
You gotta rethink
so anytime I would try to make a joke that wasn't, he would like lose his to a point.
It was off the grid. Yeah.
It was off the grid.
But
then I'm hearing from producers, like, you got to keep trying to I'm like, well, why don't you talk to him? Like, we have. So now I'm in a scenario of a movie where I'm like, I'm going to say as much as I can. And when this line comes up, it's got to be tight and buttony enough that I can go da-da-da-da before he calls cut and ruins the take. So I'm like, that's how I was doing a fucking movie and getting jokes. I'm like, hey, there you go. Yellow rabbit, cut. Yellow rabbit, get it in. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I just felt it came out. I can't help it. I'm
fantastic. It's called stunt acting and you have perfected it.
Dude, so there's all the scenario. Sometimes an actor is like not ready for it, who's not, but at least you gotta play the game.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that.
But I do it for you, Mindy, and you, Christian.
Of course.
Thank you. And we appreciate it and we'll take it and we'll send it right back to you over the net.
Sold. Oh, I love it. Thank you.
So do you always prepare to that level for every character? Have you gotten lazy a couple times and been like, I'm so good now I could probably wing it and just see what happens?
There was one, sometimes it'll come so fast. They're like, we just want you to just come for a day, come play. And you're like, and it's still comforting to know that things will come.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But I will say this, and I don't know if I read somewhere in the creative process, like, when I'm like 2 months out from a movie, I'm like a god of creativity in my brain. This is like my own peach. I'm like, oh my God, jokes are just flowing in. And as you get closer, the anxiety kicks in and slices that it's like, I'm not funny. I'm horrible.
Well, you second guess yourself. Yeah. You forget like you actually got hired and they picked you.
It's the imposter syndrome. It's
100%.
Like, why am I even doing this?
And, yes. And then you need to get to set and get that first little takeout and you're like, here it comes again. And then in those moments, new things erupt. And then you're like, oh, thank God. So, but there has been moments where it's been quick to be cast and I'm like, come just right. And you're like, didn't do the work I want to do. But then once you get on the set and you're loose and this is what you're supposed to do with your life. Because it's like,
well, it's also the longevity. The longevity and the success at some point does kind of fuel that, like, yes, I am capable and I will be able to hit this out of the park. So calm.
And you got to trust that. And once you can trust that, things happen. Yeah.
100%. So what or who inspires you? Not, and it could be in general or it could be right now. I'm just curious.
I you know what? People that hustle always inspire me. Like The Rock inspires me to do like, multiple things. Hard work. My mom and dad were like the hardest workers like ever. I mean, they literally would get up at like 5:36 in the morning and get home at 10 at night. I remember I would hang out with friends at like 5:30 and they'd be like, dinner, I got to go home. Like, dinner? I don't have dinner for like another fucking 5 hours. I'm like, dinner, let's have dinner. But they would all sit around the table, at 10:30, we're all around the table as a family. My mom was in politics, my dad was like business, so he was like on a plane everywhere, but they always found a way to show up and be there. And people that bust their ass and work really hard and are very smart inspire me. Like I have a buddy in New York, my really good buddy, Sean Feeney, who owns Lilia and Missy.
Yes.
But he was a finance guy. And when he was still doing finance, he wanted to get into the restaurant world. So he would get up like 5:30 morning, trade, go to, at Goldman or wherever he was at that moment, or huge hedge fund thing, and then go to the restaurant at 6, stay till like 11, sleep for like 11 minutes. Also 3 kids, mind you, and just step and repeat until he found a way that like, this is a solid enough business to move away, but left a nice chunk of money on the table to really take a thing. But like, he hustles and he's part of Roar right now. He's trying to help the whole restaurant industry like get through this horrific time.
Yes.
You'll see him he was talking to Trump to get the PP. He was talking to Cuomo to make sure we're getting the money. He's talking to all the senators to make sure there is a proper package happening right now, which still is not happening right now for restaurants.
I know.
But like people like who are hard workers, who are classy, who are ethical, like those people inspire me.
Yes.
And then people, and then just people who work hard, because ultimately we're all in so many professions are similar. Yeah. Whether you're an athlete or you're at work, it's all about getting into the zone. Like when you guys are really into a great podcast, or you're just like for us right now, and it's like really like cooking and zooming and everyone's playing. It's like we're all in the zone doing what we're good at. Like that's
we'll get there with your episode.
I'm going to be like a 4. Like we never got in the zone with PJ, but we knew that he was interested in coming to play with us. That's all. It's when we feel
just a lot of B-roll. Just a lot of B-roll.
Yeah. Like, we can't cut this together. It's terrible. Damn it. Mind, I love you.
Oh my God, right back at you, brother. Seriously. So what have you and Jamie, in all your spare time?
We made a baby.
Literally made a baby.
Yeah.
Yes. What have you guys, or just you, what have you been binging on? Or have you?
3 kids.
I mean, who hasn't?
A 7, a 3-year-old. I mean, we're like now a newborn. You get into bed and you're just like, so you want to know personally, like me, I don't want to watch acting. I don't want to watch my job. Like when I watch TV or movies, I'm like, show me something that's worth $200 billion. That's like special effects. I'm not thinking about it or judging.
Right.
I'm just like enjoying, yes. I just see the Queen's Gambit. I'm like, this is amazing. Like, I love you. Also, sometimes there's shows that are so good. Like, I don't think about the choices at all either. I'm like, I'm just so enraptured in what's going on.
Right.
But yeah,
storytelling. But for
I'll watch The Mandalorian because The Mandalorian's like, oh my God, Star Wars, I'm leaving the planet. And then also I'm drooling in 19 minutes because I'm exhausted.
Right.
So yeah.
But also The Mandalorian, the directors basically show you what you're going to say, and they decide to maybe throw in a couple lines here and there.
There.
I mean, it's not about the acting. It's just about, right? Each director is sort
of.
You
don't see the guy talking. He's like, what do you want? There you go.
That's
this is The Mandalorian. It's like, I'm going to come
here. If ever you wanted to feel insignificant, if ever you wanted to feel insignificant as an actor, just watch Mandalorian. You're just not needed.
Yeah. But they're getting the greatest cast. Are you seeing who's in that? They're getting like massive gods to be in that.
May I just say, as you know, you are a voice of a very treasured animated character, as was I. I was the voice of Velma for a while.
Oh, I didn't even know. Yes, I love that.
Yes. So I have to say, the people who would want to do an episode of Scooby-Doo, because it's an episode.
Yes.
Well, I think it's the same thing in Mandalorian. Who doesn't want to do an episode?
Yeah.
No.
So of course they're getting, and who doesn't want to go up to Skywalker Ranch?
I mean,
do a little record. Right?
I mean, actually, a lot of the times they're just like a friend of mine's W. Earl Brown. He just got a call. His agent goes, he's like, listen, we got to do this thing. It's a lot of prosthetics. He's like, no, I told you, I'm never doing that again. They're like, it's Star Wars. He's like, I'll be there in 15 minutes. It's like, you give it how long I'll sit for 17 days to look like.
Bet. To not look like myself at all.
Yeah.
Yes,
happy to
100%.
Do it. Happy to do it. Yeah.
What is a project like that for you? I mean, for me, it's any PBS series. Is basically like just you don't even have to ask. Just point me in the direction of the plane. So
100%.
what is your kind of dream project if you have one?
I still want to be. No one's ever goddamn put me in like a war
Tell
movie.
me.
I just want to be like. I want to hold it like, get down, everybody.
I don't know why. Because that's a violent death.
Yeah, or like let me go over the hill, like Glory, like come on, like.
Do you want more like Steven Spielberg war movie or more like Sylvester Stallone war movie?
Oh no, Spielberg. Literally, okay. Like Glory could like put me. It could be Civil War. It could be modern day.
Okay.
It could be Space Force. I don't know. Put me in a war movie. Someone.
You said war. I thought you said horror, which is why I said death scene.
Oh yeah.
War.
Oh no, I've done a lot of those. No, I've done plenty of horror,
death,
and I've done a lot of crazy ways.
I know.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay.
I did Final Destination 5. Okay, man, come on.
I know. I know.
The first 4 they came to me, I was like, I'm not doing it. If you get to 5, then I'm in. I'm not doing the first 4. I walk.
No, I want to. On my bucket list is being killed violently in a horror movie. So that's like
I feel like I can make that happen. Can I make a call for Mindy?
Could you make a call for Mindy? Because that would be. I would love to see this part.
Yes. Okay, shut it, Christian. So you said war movie.
Directors, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so you said war movie. Got you.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Well, we can make. Come on, that's what kids think of when you're playing as a kid. You're like, get out of here. Here comes the grenade.
I get it.
Yeah, a lot of that.
You have worked with icons. I mean, right?
I did that for you, Mindy. I did that for you. Yes.
Thanks. As an audience member, I really appreciated it.
You're
so
welcome.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
How do you sidle up to that? In other words, give me the first day on a set where your scene partner is someone you've either admired or freaked out about. I mean, how do you get in that? I
have to. For all, yes, I'll get into like this.
I mean, you tell me stories because I just want to hear stories.
So I have to bring. So the reason, for whatever reason, I don't know what, maybe because of my growing up and being around like big politicians or all that, I was sort of comfortable. I'm really more comfortable with people that have really made it. I don't know why. There's like an understanding. I don't know what happens with that. So that's one thing.
That's so fascinating.
But when it translates to work and the nerves of that and how do you navigate that, I always have to tip my hat to Mike Nichols. And Ellen Lewis let me audition for Mike Nichols. It was for Charlie Wilson's War. And I'll never forget, I was like recurring on a show called The Game, which I love.
Yes.
And that whole cast was they knew I was going to call back with Mike Nichols. They were like so pumped for me. So I remember I was leaving CBS Radford. I was driving over to Paramount and I was getting to park in the good spot. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm meeting Mike Nichols, this is crazy.
And Mike Nichols.
It's Mike Nichols, like your idol, like you're Mike Nichols and Elaine May. I'm like, this guy, I can't even wrap my head around what's happening. And I'm trying to be cool, but they're all, so I feel like I have this whole swath of people that are like, you're going to be great. So I'll never forget. I walk into the room and the first thing he says to me, it's not like, hey, I was ready to go, hi, it's whatever the hell I was going to say. He has my resume in his hand and he just goes, I'm like, I walk in, boom, first thing, tell me about boogie boarding. Because stupidly, it was so young. I had on my resume as like an extra talent, like I
special skills.
The special skills.
Your
like
special skills.
I went to the Jersey Shore and I could boogie board. Like I don't know what the.
Oh my god, PJ, that is spectacular.
I cannot fucking believe that's what we brought. So all of a sudden, I'm like, thank God I went into this whole spiel about how lame boogie boarding is compared to surfing. People call spongers. It's the lame, and he's just cackling because he has no idea what the boogie boarding is. And then he's like, well, let's begin. And I was just like, oh, what a warm. And then I did it. And then I started riffing for whatever reason. And then he's cackling more. And I'm like, holy shit. And then I finished. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. And he's like, you're in. I'm like, thanks so much. He snuck in. You're in.
Oh,
I didn't know what that meant. I was like, oh my God. Well, thank you so much. So nice meeting you, Ellen. I love it. I was like out of the room. I was like, I call my agent. I'm like, I don't know what and then he said, I'm in. I don't know what that means. He's like, you're in the movie. You're in the film. If Mike Nichols says you're in, you're in.
That's amazing.
And that was like, yeah, so that was it. So that like was a comic. Then that just made, no matter how big or gigantic or historic or all, Oscars or what have you, they just want to have a nice time and they want the person to come in the room and they want to be friends with you. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And from then on, he would always call and go, if there was like a table read, I'd be the only like unknown. I'm like, there's Julia Roberts and John Hamm. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing at this table with a table read?
He fell in love with you.
Oh, it was great. And I never forget, one time it was like another thing. We're going to the Sony lot and I parked in the great spot. He wanted for like a table read. And I remember that I walked in there, it was like literally Julia Roberts, John Hamm, like you just named the famous people sitting in this like really nice boardroom for a table read. And he looks over and he sees me and he goes, there's my boy. And I look behind me. I'm like, who the like, it's me. Holy shit.
I am the boy. I am the boy.
I can't believe this. This is crazy. And then this man, you know, and then he passed away. It's heart-wrenching. It's really
It is heart-wrenching. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But
well,
you have those
what's so funny
stories.
is
Like,
that you and I, yes, and what you and I so just am clocking. That is the one thing I sort of know what kind of production or what kind of value I have by my parking space. Isn't that? It's so funny. I mean, you think about all these people's writers, and I always just want a parking space. A good parking space.
I get it. No, I get it. I get it. I get it. I get all of it.
Shallow.
I get all of it. Yeah. No, don't you do that. No, because it's just like, am I supposed to really be here? Like, do you respect me on some level? Is that anything? Anything?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me about, I know in this time, I don't know if it's still greenlit, if it's going, when's it going, but tell me about the film you wrote that you sold.
That's what's up.
Oh yeah. No, listen.
Well, listen, Brothers of the Bride. Yeah. So it's
but you wrote it and you sold it. So that in of
New Line.
itself
God
is
bless
huge.
them. Yes. No, I love them. I love New Line has been my family. So to this day, it's like New Line and Warner Brothers, for whatever reason, they were the first real people like I did Horrible Bosses with, and then they put me in FD5, and then, you know, Rampage. I mean, they've always been, and I know everyone up and down from like, now it's also, we've been in Mindy, we've been doing this a minute. So your friends that were producers or like, you know, now
Studio
they're like
heads.
running the studios. It's amazing. I'm like, I love this.
I know. This. Oh, believe me.
But they're great people. So you're like, this makes me think Hollywood is okay. You know, there's like Dave Neustadter and Brenner and like there's some great people over there.
I have been lucky that my first bosses were Norman Lear and Alan Horn. So, you know, top right.
Just few.
So now talk to me. In other words, I have worked with such tremendous bosses and worked for people that I love, that love creatives, that I had those experiences so early on that I didn't get the memo that all studio executives are assholes or whatever. I've had a very opposite experience.
Yeah.
And I find them to be just as creative as all other departments.
I agree with you. I think it's out of the norm to find it's so hard to compete in this world. You better be a good person in class. I always say this to everybody who comes down, like, just be classy. If it doesn't pass the classy test, whatever you're doing, don't do it. You'll sleep better at night. That's why I think I got along so well with DJ, because it's like, it's nice to be not, you know, it's nice to be important. I think that's why we connected as well. And also, you just want the world will spin better if you're just a good quality, classy human being, and you work hard, and you just work hard.
Well, and people, especially in what we do, remember that it's what we do, not who we are.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
And that, so things like that have been game changers for me in my career and in my life. Yeah. Just,
my grandmother always used to say, be remembered by your manners.
I love that. Great. Yes. Yeah, and your headphones, but she didn't have a great set of headphones, you know.
So is there?
Yeah, so jealous.
Did you get? I mean, are you writing? Are you currently do you make it a part of your life to sit down and write? And is it more and again? Or
look, I'm like right now we're just developing show. Look, I know what I'm good at and being funny and editing. So when I came to I don't know if you knew this about me, when I came to LA, I got very lucky and got a commercial agent. And back in the days where you're making you did a commercial, I just made $50,000 for 1 hour.
Yes, you could live a very nice life. Yes.
And I turned down a job on Wall Street to go to grad school for acting. But I would call my friends early on and I'm like, oh my God, what'd you do today? They're like, well, I worked out. What'd you do? And I was like, did anybody read a book? Is anyone reading? I thought my brain was atrophying. Mm-hmm. So this was back when Chris O'Donnell, I don't know if you remember, he was Robin and Batman.
Of course.
Yeah, so great guy. So I owe him. He actually went to Boston College too. And his sister and my sister were great friends and in each other's weddings. So I met with Chris and his production company because he had the big deal at Warner Brothers.
Yes.
You don't have to pay me. But can I just be a fly on the wall, an intern and just learn the business side of Hollywood? Yeah. And they're like, yeah. And they gave me a script. They're like, do coverage. And coverage is reading a script and give you recommendations. And so I did that. And they were like, oh my God, this is amazing. Now you got to remember, I just went to grad school and read everything Greeks to present day and understood character and art. So I was like, well, because you have so many people, I was like, whatever. I always loved The Godfather, so I want to be in film. And those people will get weeded out. But I was ready. They're like, oh my God, come be our story editor. I was like, well, I really came here to act. They're like, no, come and go as you please. So I was a story.
Oh, how wonderful.
I'm the Warner Brothers lot, so it's another reason I love the lot. And got to learn the inner workings of Hollywood. So I set up shows, and every time I tried to quit, they're like, "You're a vice president now." I'm like, "I'm a vice president." Nuts. But I would literally be on set. I'd be like, "All right, get me this writer." I would like doing some like Kia commercial, like, "Get me the fucking writer for this blah blah blah." You know, it's like I can't be on the phone with this god, and I'm like, "I'll be there 1 second." I'm like, and boom, daddy, I love the Kia. Pay me.
Yes.
You know, but it was like I learned so much. And then writing that, meeting great writers. So now I'll sort of collaborate with other writers to sort of pitch shows and stuff like that. And that's the phase I'm in right now. It's like thinking I actually have shows to like try to go out and pitch, and that's where my creative and writing ability, and knowing that like I'm a great editor because I learned how to be a really good story editor, or just help friends come up with stuff. But to be honest, what pays the bills really at the end of the day is acting. That's I'm the president of Coke, and we're acting. Yes, there might be some Sprite or whatever, what have you, but acting, you know, and then these other things, because I can't not work, is, you know, maybe write a movie for you, but really my heart and pure happiness is being on set. You know, the energy of being on a set, and when the whole room knows and the grip knows and the guy behind the camera's giggling, and there's two, I mean, that's the magic. And you know, we look at each other and we fucking nailed that. That's what I love. That's truly
same.
Yeah,
I mean, there's something
the
business acumen and your ego of setting things up or putting people together and making things happen is very fulfilling. But it's like I'm the joke in my group of friends. It's like all I really want to do is act. You know, most people want to direct and and it's like no, I just want to be in front of the camera. Seriously,
that's when I'm purely happy. Truly.
Yeah, nice.
And as I get older and I know what time and what I'm doing with, I was like, I have so much time with my kids. I have so many kids now.
So like, you are the Partridge Family.
Well,
you are the Partridge Family. Well, you need to create something for me.
I love that. Now that I know this, it's such a good feeling.
Ideally, something for you and I to do together.
I have no problems with that. Oh my God, we can play brother and sister, no question. Come on, what do we do?
Yeah.
Make it a horror film and kill two birds.
I'm now putting that on you because you have
every episode you die in a fun way.
Perfect. I'm putting that on you because you have no other responsibilities at all.
I got it. No sweat. No sweat.
Yeah,
no sweat.
It's perfect.
No sweat. No sweat.
My friend, I adore you. Thank you.
I love you.
Thank you so much. Thank
you for having me. You guys did great. Christian, you were incredible.
I know.
Today. I mean, you were.
I didn't even prepare. So.
I mean, amazing. And the family tree behind you. I feel like. I feel like next time we like tune in, I'm gonna see Mindy like it's through her body, like she did it. She died on screen. It's great.
Exactly.
See, we're already got the ideas
my
going.
dreams.
I know.
He fulfills my wishes. So
You're a great team.
Yeah. Thank you, my friend.
No, I love you. Have a great day.
I can't
Be
wait
safe.
to see you in person.
Oh my God. I'm gonna hold you like longer. Just don't make it weird when I hold you a little longer. Don't make it weird. It's just because I haven't had a chance to
won't.
hug
Just Jamie has to be in the room though.
No, she'll be fine with it. No, I'll have cameras everywhere because I want to remember that hug and make it really special.
Please do. Forever. We'll go viral. Yeah.
All right. I love you guys.
Amazing.
You too.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, PJ Byrne.
Hands up, everybody. So we know where they are. Yeah. Nothing's weird, Mom and Dad. Nothing's weird.
Nothing weird.
Yeah. Nothing's weird.
This episode of Mondays with Mindy is brought to you by the Woodstock Way Hotel.
Attracting musicians, artists, dreamers, seekers, and bootleggers since 1787, tucked behind a waterfall along a babbling brook, this Catskills contemporary hotel sits just steps away from Woodstock's iconic town center. Its sustainable and conscious design, paired with a nod to local flavors and peerless hospitality, will lead you to embrace a way of life here, drawing you in to live, love, and listen. Woodstock Way Hotel. Head to woodstockway.com or mondayswithmindy.com for more information and to book your reservation today.